You are back, and just in time for Game 4 and the class that you'll want to attend this weekend of UCI versus Western, where the reigning champs are one win away from returning to the finals. It's got to feel good. Obviously, Western saying that they want to bring that cup themselves back to Canada, just because it would be great to have that history once again in their hands.
Yeah, and this is exactly what champions need to be made of. You just got crushed the last game. They busted out a bunch of new picks. So go in there between the games, reset your mentality, dig deep, find a powerful, strong draft that's going to play to your probably necessarily strong early game. That's what they need to kind of beat UCI. They can't go late versus them. And then go ahead and force a Game 5. And if they can dig themselves out of this series, that will prove how strong they are, taking down the title contenders in a best-of-5 to set themselves up for the finals. And it's a tough, tall order, but Western got to do it.
Absolutely is. I think one of the strongest things you can show and to intimidate your opponents is to not be timid in this game. Find that composition that wants to be aggressive. It's always easier to want to play safe here, have an average lane, be able to get to late game. That's where you're going to give Irvine the upper hand. Pull out all the stops, play those early laning phases. They had the great Nautilus early engage level 1 that they were able to use last time when they got pretty big onto Youngbin and whatnot. Other lanes have been feeling good. I think, as we've been saying, Western needs to go early.
Yeah, for sure. And I think finding some ways to set up their top lane, I think Captain Nuke has been exploited a couple times in this series. And I think if you can find another way onto him, maybe that's the Rumble ban again and setting something else up, because otherwise, I mean, Youngbin has been a star. I think they have had some good opportunities into Descraton for, you know, depending on the matchup after he was forced off the Vladimir. The Akali is a tough matchup into the Silas, which is what they played last time, and Descraton did fine there. So I think Western does have avenues, as well as Julius. I think getting him on an earlier game-focused champion, I think a lot of the Nocturnes are fine, but I think something that can influence lanes a little bit more aggressively pre-6.
This guy is supposed to be able to track the other jungler. Give him somebody where he can do that, make sure he has impact ganks on either side of the map, or track to take down Avi. Avi's been pretty controlled-oriented throughout this entire series. The Hecarim last time was very, very strong coming out of him, and he was just really able to activate a little bit earlier than, like you said, that Nocturne we've been seeing. Obviously, Talia has been banned out quite a bit. He did find great success on that yesterday in their matchup. So he's been finding a good bit of control for the team in Pick's ban phase and on the map.
Yeah, I think he's quietly been the secret star of the team. It's a lot easier to point at the 14-0-3 Kaisa and be like, oh my God, Youngbin's going crazy and Bloodwater's his lane mate. So they're awesome. But I think in a lot of the games where it has been more tough, a lot of times it has been Avi setting them up. He's the one who usually has to find his way top to protect Captain Nuke, and oftentimes snowball Descraton as well. So it's a bit of a two-headed dragon, it feels like right now, to take down for Western. But I think, you know, Short Hop has had some good performances. I think the late game Jinx pick has been getting abused a little bit. They need to find something with a little bit more early game strength and, you know, work from there.
Very true. I think someone might be like Lucian in there, be pretty decent.
Yeah, you could easily
try to get it down.
Yeah, Lucian. I think even, you know, they might not be playing Zyracon. That's something that can go aggressive a little bit earlier.
See that a few times.
Kaisa even, you know, these champions that, yes, they scale very well, but they tend to be more aggressive and have more options to go forward pre-6. And even if you want to go like Tristana, you know, any of those feel like they have more fighting power early.
We're getting to picks and bans in just a moment. I really like the factor that during a 1-1 game, a team uses quite a bit of different things. That means if you do win that game, the one game that is now match point, your opponent has to ban out things they may not have wanted to, lose a few bans to their regular situational strategy. And now it becomes a little tougher. So you see Irvine putting another wrench into the works with having Yuumi last game and a few other things on the map Western has to consider.
No surprise, they're keeping the Talia ban. I like that, but where do they go from here for Western? That's the question. The Silas pick is one that I think they can leave up. UC Irvine has been using it okay, but have not been dominating with the pick. What else do they have for Julius? That Kindred getting taken away again. That was one of the strong champions that does scale well, kind of like a Nocturne, but can actually bully people out of situations and farm very quickly pre-6.
He got pretty scary on that too, being able to find his early marks. Definitely made use. So Julius, with that, being able to track his opponent ability really made work on the Kindred. Not this time. Akali banned out. With that rise taken away from Descraton.
Yeah, a little surprised to see that. Felt like they were able to handle it quite easily in the previous game, but they decide they don't want to deal with it. The Vladimir ban coming out as well. Descraton's best champion, I would say. He has been performing well on the Silas, but got caught out a couple times in the side lane. If they are going Nocturne again, maybe that's something they can do. Finding those picks in the side lanes was successful. It's just usually by the time they're at that state of the game, they're falling too far.
Hacker Matrox, take both. Why not?
Yeah, that's a takeaway from Avi in the previous game, having a very good Hecarim game. Found some kills pre-6, which is usually not that easy to do on the Hecarim, but some aggressive skirmishing in the lanes kind of set that up.
Still has quite a few junglers in his mix. The Elise Rek'Sai, Kindred's banned out. We did see the Jarvan. Orianna is going to be very interesting pickup. Ori can get some tough matches, but they feel like Slasher will feel confident on that. You can still play it safe as long as you're not trying to shockwave things that can really take you out. So quick Orianna into another Yuumi, but it goes with Ezreal this time on the side of UC Irvine.
I gotta say, I kind of liked how it looked last game more. I thought the Kai'Sa and Yuumi had a lot more flexibility in terms of going in or out. This one, you're pretty much sticking on the outside. Of course, when you start teaming up with other allies, you can go in, but there were a number of times that they pulled off the Kai'Sa ult with Yuumi ult quite well. Not going to get that this time around, and Western's got to go fast.
I like it. It's not exactly the super win lane, but you're going to get through a lane, farmed up, and you can get to a fight phase. You can initiate it if you're coming out of that laning phase at least first and dictating a bit of the game pace. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to lose a lane against Ezreal either, so it's going to be pretty decent there.
Yep, very good pick into Ezreal. You start being able to wave clear pretty fast against it. Yuumi Ezreal does have enough poke that a single spell shield, you know, won't get you through the lane unscathed. This is not like, oh, there's one big ability I need to block. The Q spam from both of them is pretty relentless.
Choose one.
Yeah, choose one. But hey, there's some Enchanter supports that can help keep you topped off potentially, and then you negate a large part of the poke. Haven't seen a Nami. Who knows? Maybe something like that.
And we do hear the Sivir is good into that Yuumi, being able to ricochet and bounce around. You get a little extra damage onto her as well as her carry that she's on. Kled and Rumble being locked out as Captain Nuke will not get another play on the Yordle in the scrap machine. We haven't seen that Kled play just yet. We saw a bit of it yesterday, not to the greatest success, but it will be taken away from Gorica this game. There's the Aatrox that has been traded throughout every game of this series and finally finds itself on the ban list.
Yeah, a little surprised to see that with the Hecarim not being, well, still being flexed. The fact that you're banning the Aatrox kind of telegraphs that Gorica doesn't really want it, and it's mostly probably going to Julius. They do have a good team comp for it so far. You got the quick pony and a lot of speed ups to make sure his E does a lot of damage. So we'll see what they can grab for what is likely the support in top laner given those bans.
Another Braum here for Blaze Nova, I think would be the call.
That would be the boring call, really.
Yeah, I know. It happens. And they, I guess, leave. Ooh.
That's not the boring call.
Ooh. You have the hardest lane to hook, but I like it. I like the Thresh pick, just because I like Thresh.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. We were talking about the Yuumi ability to hop on and off relatively quickly. It will be difficult. But, hey, if you flay him, there you go. Just walk up and play.
Walk up and flay. Conqueror Thresh. I had that in one of my games once. Level 1 walked up and flayed, and he just crushed the lane. He's like, bro, I'm Conqueror. Follow me. I followed my dad. It was good. It probably would never work anywhere else. Jarvan locked in. They are going to get that for Avi this time around, so they have good ultimate initiation. They don't have that Galio. They don't have anything to go in with it. What's going to be next? Captain Nuke throw into the mix here that will dive right in.
Yeah.
With that Jarvan.
Does feel like we need something else. The Silas can go in as well. It does have good, engage and follow up and whatnot, but
Horn.
You feel like you want one more, and wow, Riv the genius.
Let's go. I was like, what do you need? It's just utmost initiation at any range, Orn.
And I like it given the fact that we're talking about Captain Nuke not often receiving resources to help him out. This time his famous Rumble is banned out, so I'd like the Ornn pick, just saying like, all right, you know what? You're probably going to counter pick him. You're probably going to want to kill him a bunch top. And he's going to play something that no matter, even if you are successful with that, he will be strong. And we do get the Vayne top lock-in.
Ooh, okay. You can see the smiles on the faces of some Western members there and Irvine. That's funny. We will see now. Vayne top against the Ornn. That's going to be a bit of a hair puller there for the Ornn, but not an impossible lane. Just very difficult.
Yep. A little surprised to see that. They had a very strong team fight comp coming online for Western. The Thresh maybe going for a little bit more early game strength. Like we said, we'll have to see how it works in that comp. A little concerning. But then the Vayne top pick pretty much can, forces them hard into a 4-1 composition. This Vayne will be hopefully taking Captain Nuke down and then being able to split push turrets down. Woo. It is a pretty good Vayne comp to play into. There's really not that much lockdown CC on the side for UCI.
It's true. You avoid the Cataclysm and you're pretty decent. You're good to go in a fight here.
Yep, the Silas chains, okay, you can dodge that. And then Yumi ult is probably the most reliable CC that they have on this comp.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Who will she be chasing? Probably with Avi after they get out of landing phase. They did stick with Kaisa last time, though. We'll see how this combination of Ezreal and Yumi goes. Definitely going to stay long range, a little bit less aggressive in that laning phase, but we'll see. Sivir Thresh versus Ezreal Yumi in that bot lane. Orianna versus Silas in mid. Your junglers are Jarvan versus Hecarim. And top lane is Ornn versus Vayne. Captain Nuke going to the tank, and Gorica on what could be Western's final game here on the Vayne to try and make an impact play out of that top lane. We'll have to see what they have. Returning champs UC Irvine looking to go to the finals tomorrow with a win here to face off against Maryville. Western Ontario looking to stay alive with a win.
If they're going to go out, they're going to go out in a blaze of glory. Vayne top, a very volatile pick.
Yep.
Gorica is going to be a bit of the star of the show here. Needs to get a big lead.
Needs teleport there on the flash, summoner spell or unsealed spellbook, as you would expect for Captain Nuke. See if he gets a little tricky in lane with some aggressive spells if he ever sees Avi coming to lane. Looking around, electrocute as well to unsealed spellbook for Slasher. We saw that happening yesterday. I can't remember with who built the runic echoes for himself with Smite in the beginning, but not going to be the case here.
Yeah, more standard.
Like that, though.
It was a pretty cute idea, getting the early wave clear from runic echoes over Ludens, and using the spellbook to not feel like you are trapped with Smite.
Cash money for Young Ben. He gets himself in a pocket of gold, bag of gold, if you will.
Is he going for the recall, spend it, get a pink ward maybe?
No, way too late. You have to hit Fountain by 111, and you are safely out to farm or help at camps. If you leave Fountain by 111, you're good to go, no boots. It's a good number to know, which means 8-second back. If you're backing by 103, you're still good to go. Has to happen like that. Otherwise, you might miss a minion.
The biggest breed.
There you go. Good clear for Julius, trying to get the double up on, but he's going to say nay to the no.
Yeah, it didn't quite work.
Let's go towards the top side here. Raptors still want it. They can't decide.
Chickens are mad.
Yeah, they are real mad. Pushed up
Legend of
on
Zelda
the top.
chickens.
Good job by Nuke. He's going to say brush game in and out as he tries to get single farm for single farm here. It's not going to be that easy, though. I might even get level 2 silver bolts here from Gorica. Take a lot of caster damage there, brother. Look out.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
See if we find another aggressive trade. Gets to level 2 early.
Oh, he's right there. Hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well done by Gorica. I think Avi probably should have just started with the EQ out of nowhere before you're in range. Once you see him, it's not as difficult to kind of hover your mouse on them and just get ready to press the E as soon as you see the Jarvan's E come out. Even if you don't time it perfectly, like if you don't interrupt the Q with it, oftentimes you can push them out of range of their Q not hitting their own flag, and they just kind of miss.
Recent flash by Short Hop here on the bot side. Nice spell shield. There's the play we were talking about. Walk up damage, but Zumi's healed. It's easy getting back to Young Ben. They're just keeping themselves nice and sustained in this bot lane as Blaze just picking up souls, keeping himself tanky. No jungler presence just yet, other than Avi on the top side. Julius is going to try to get himself through basically a full clear here as he's doing the last 2 camps. And scuttles are going to be coming up now, so we might see a bit of action there. They're finding Julius possibly here. Descraton just comes down for a little bit of help to make sure Julius doesn't match on this scuttle.
Yeah, nice little
oh, he gets seen.
two-man roam. Not much you can do about it. Descraton out of the lane already. And some good trades by University of Western Ontario, but not actually able to convert that into anything. Just a nice HP advantage.
Oof. Still great in CS. Hasn't really missed much in the matchup for back and forth.
Yep, that's the help of the Jarvan early on. Able
Yeah.
to force him out of lane, get a little bit of damage onto him.
It seems sketchy. I don't know if anybody has a real fight here. It's definitely going to be in favor now of UCI.
Yeah, they're kind of bloodthirsty. They're roaming all over the place. Descraton was just bot lane, now he goes top lane. He's kind of falling behind and farm a little bit with all this roaming.
It looks fun for Blaze Nova. He's basically the one trying to get in front of all these missiles, take this poke. He's out of potions now. Maybe Biscuit's coming up secondary for him, but you can see just how these lanes are. It's like playing against a Sona. It's like playing against anything that's always going to be able to do damage. Here, topside for Gorica, feeling safe in the lane. He gets a rinse and repeat from Avi, and that's going to be the one that counts for the first blood.
Yeah, well done by Captain Nuke. Already kind of had the trade advantage in his favor. Gorica still had his flash up, but there's nowhere for him to go. We'll see. Hecarim tried to even it out in the top lane. Doesn't quite work out.
Teleport back in. Gorica says, I don't want to miss too much. He gets the help from Julia, so that's a safe entry into the lane. Oh, wow, very heady play.
Yeah, they have this slight advantage with the teleport completing first. Captain Nuke gonna show up now. Tabby's complete is a pretty nice upgrade for him. And Gorica kind of got poked out.
Oof. Yeah,
It's the
Brittle
flash
does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Unsuspecting. That's why you get double proc as well once you start get your ultimate up with your Bellows Breath and then ultimate, and you are doing a crap load of anybody's health. That's why Ornn is so tricky. You think you're just fighting a tank, but then he becomes a bruiser. 8.5 to 7.8. Just coming up on 6 minutes into the game. We're seeing a lot of ultimates ding now in these solo lanes. Or should soon. I thought actually Captain Nuke had his 6 yet, but not yet.
Not quite there.
46 to 37. Yeah, not quite.
But I will say, I mean, I don't want to say the lane is over for the Vayne already, but she is one of those matchups where you almost always want to be significantly further ahead. You want to be harassing them under turret. You want to be up 10, 15 CS at this point. You don't want your first back until you get Cutlass. And right now he's down farm, kind of under pressure a little bit. The tabbies are completed for Captain Nuke. You come back to lane with a dagger. It is not a good position to be in.
Nice hook. There's so much heal to come through, though. They got to be careful about this fight. They're following through. Gonna miss on the boomerang. Get themselves to safety.
Whoa.
There, what? A shockwave. Not enough follow-up damage coming through, though. Youngbean just stays alive with the chug of the potion. And Bloodwater is here with Descraton now as Descraton teleports down to the bot lane. Steals shockwave. Has to get himself in, but he has the flash to do so. See if he's going to do it. Nice warding here finally by Gorica to keep himself safe on the top side. You see no change in play is probably going to alert Avi that that's there.
That was so close to being a great play for Western Ontario. It feels so bad to see Youngbin living with just a sliver of HP. You can play everything right. You just wonder if you could have squeezed, 5 more damage out of that situation.
That's what Crumbs was talking about. You gotta get the better juice out of your squeeze. If you can't, you're not gonna get any product. You don't get any results.
Single-digit HP.
Yeah. How much?
I was ticking up.
Just single. Got it.
It's like 8.
Enough. Either 1 through 9. Good autos. Clockwork wind up, giving Slasher a little bit more of an advantage in that auto attack war. Looks like they're doing pretty good holding on to the early game. This is what they wanted. UCI, however, is getting a small advantage that would really work to their favor. It's on Captain Nuke as they wanted to shut down Gorica and make sure that Vayne doesn't become something crazy here in the late game. Looks like they've done well so far, even CS, but not getting items on that Vayne is what they wanted.
Nope, and gold lead in UCI's favor. A large part of that is probably from the klepto of the Ezreal, but at the end of the day, they still have some decent CSing numbers. especially in that top lane, which is supposed to be detrimental to Hecarim. Now at 6 can potentially start turning some big plays, but I think they really want to focus on getting their 4-man ahead. If you could pick one part to get ahead at this point, you're like, all right, let's get this Orianna, Sivir, and Hecarim super strong.
I think he's really happy they didn't go over into that Dragon Pit. Would have had a Sivir on his back in a few seconds, so maybe they could have killed him with Descraton in mid. But safe plays around the Drake for now. Pushed up towards mid. This is a quiet game. It gets a little slower paced as you get the chance to be on game point here. UCI happy with a lead. Western playing to not lose. You get this tentative engage from each team. Good pressure. Pushed up towards top. It looks like Western wants to start to converge here down onto the Dragon Pit. Movement from Youngbin and Bloodwater will be a little bit late to the fight. They go onslaught onto the members of Descraton and Avi, and it's just going to be a little short. That's a big ultimate to be used with Dragon being up, but it doesn't look like it'll trigger the fight overall.
Well played by Descraton. Ulting at max range, and then Julius trying to follow at max range, but still having his movement abilities up from his other skills, able to avoid it.
It is a peculiarly long range, if you will, in that word sense. It's like steal and all. You're like, thanks. I don't need to use this for a while. I didn't even need to get close for it. I feel like it could be cut down just a little.
I know what you're saying. That is a little long for all range. Hold on, second all in.
I like the walk up there. Not gonna go in for it.
One more Q.
Oh, he did! Oh! Usually when you wait that long, it never works out, but he called the bluff, and actually I like it because Youngbin started to head to the wall. Once you put yourself near a wall like that, you don't have too much exit. He throws the boomerang just short of the wall and gets the kill.
Oh, hold on, Ignite
takes
there.
Quite a bit of damage. Slasher doesn't have blue buff, so he's waiting for his cooldowns to come back up here, but he looks like he was going to win that fight. Plays towards the top side where Avi was, but he won't need that help, as Rift Herald now going to go down in favor of UCI, and nicely done as they continue to control a bit of macro on the map for a Cloud Drake in favor of Western.
Yeah, that Thresh pick really working out for Western. We were a little concerned about how it would fare versus the Ezreal and Yuumi, but that's the second all-in attempt they had. The first one came up just barely short, but this time, with the flash available, which Short Hop did not have in the first all-in attempt, they are able to find the kill.
There's definitely a lot of disrespect from Youngbin and Bloodwater in this lane, not caring about the pressure of having that brush taken over by a Thresh, not staying behind your minions. That's the whole thing, is you deny everything if you do, and they're allowing themselves to really be caught out by this lane they shouldn't.
Yeah, and I mean, it was so close to being able to survive. The flash Q.
Delivery.
Perfectly done there. And these are the kinds of things we need to see. It's great to see Short Hop stepping up. He was kind of hyped up as the guy, as one of the main playmakers for Western. And Youngbin has done a good job in the series of staying ahead of him. But if Short Hop can shut Youngbin down, then you have this other comp, the rest of your comp, functioning very well as a 4-man with the Hecarim engages and the Orianna ults. Even if you have this Vayne, who is not particularly strong in team fights from this position, at the very least, she can be splitting away from the map and hopefully keeping Ornn out of them.
Armor, armor, armor. You can see the Bramble Vest with Ninja Tabi's there. Stopwatch as well if things get too crazy. And things have now leveled out. It was a 1,000 gold lead. All equal now. Shockwave Flash for Flash as they missed the ultimate from Descraton. Steal there. Blaze Nova's in towards the mid lane. We're going to get some party now. Three's a crowd as Youngbin is in on the teleport here. We get Yuumi now traveling around with Descraton as the Rift Herald is mid. We're going to get some plates down. It's going to be the first, I believe, of the game. No, first plate by Western, but doesn't matter. More plates going over to UCI here on the mid lane.
Yeah, good control by Western, not getting baited, recognizing that that teleport coming in from Youngbin is really a double teleport. And it turns into a big siege in the mid lane. Ooh. They do grab some turret plates, but that only equalizes the gold for UCI.
Tell the name of the game is farming. Cole in the hands of Youngbin here as they just get pushed in by the Sivir. Cataclysm down on a Short Hop. Oh, he gets himself in a real sticky situation all alone on the bot side. They don't have too much river vision. He gets taken out.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Short Hop to get caught out there. UCI had all just been grouped up mid and we're starting to disperse. You know, Youngbin's coming back down to the bot lane with Yuumi on him. Probably didn't know Avi was behind them as well, but you got to be more careful than that.
Oh. Ooh. Nicely done. They should be able to get the kill off of this. Just a few auto attacks down, and that's Desperton's kill. Coming out, fight towards the bot lane. Blaze Nova trying to get in a great flash to get the final chapter done, but they flash back over the side. An arcane shift at least as the onslaught comes in. They get themselves to safety, and they should be able to pick up this kill onto Blaze Nova. Nicely done to turn that one around, but what a fight onto the bot side, 2 for 1.
Yeah, not respecting the Yuumi range either.
Oh, Julius almost going down. They get some damage onto Short Hop, and now they have to get out safely. Nobody else is coming down to this situation. They could have just gone right out for the turret. There's minions there. Now the teleport comes in. They're forced to kind of turn back on the fight. 2 teleports for that matter. Gorka on one side, Slasher on the other. It's going to be the pinch in here. How much can Gorka do without getting taken out himself? That's an AD on the flank, and that's a bit scary. He doesn't have the initiation to really keep UCI there, and they know they can walk on by.
I can't believe that all resolves with only a single kill in the bot lane. Absolutely crazy fight with multiple TPs. Everyone meeting up down there, and despite being between 2 turrets, UCI is able to get out largely unscathed after an all-in attempt. It starts with this mid play. I'll be showing in the mid lane. Great change by Desperton to set this kill up. He grabs it for himself, and because the jungler is showing, they say, all right, this is just a 2v2, and it's a jungler and support versus AD and support. But the teleport from Captain Nuke comes in. You see the Vayne holding her TP, not wanting to collapse. So it ends up just a 1-for-1 at this point, despite the kill mid, and then collapses keep coming in more and more, but no more kills after that.
I feel like everybody was just running around with a pitchfork out of there, like screaming and yelling, but not
Who are we angry at?
All right. Next time. 4-3 in plates. 15 minutes on the clock now as we are starting to get a bit towards that mid game. We're seeing who's able to open up their lanes. And a lot of damage down onto that middle lane for Western. Remember, with Rift Herald used, that's an opportunity to really get a good fight and engage, as Desperton and Avi has been putting work on Slasher this game on that Orianna.
Yeah, he's been having much better laning phase this time against the Orianna, going for the Electrocute as opposed to the Comet that he took last time in this matchup. And I think that's a much smarter choice. I like the all-in potential, potentially more of the sustain, depending on what else he's running in that tree. As well as the fact that it's been a lot scrappier of a game around mid. Last time they were kind of on an island. And all around, working out much better for him.
Slasher keeping good CS, all things considered, but love to get that first item in to make that impact in his roams. We've already seen a few good shockwaves coming through, a little more damage, and they'll be able to finish out the kills they are looking for. Another, or back up to, I should say, 1,000 gold lead in favor of UCI. Gorka now 121 to 100, so he's starting to have at least Cutlass damage, and with that sustain in lane now of the Scepter and the Cutlass, he can get himself into those fights in and out willingly.
Yeah, I mean, Captain Nuke, as we see another attempt potentially in the mid lane, not going to work out.
Over the wall as the follow there. Dissonance is not damaged, so they're going to be looking for that. Shockwave is enough to pull it back through, though, with the Helicopter Hecarim. Julius helps for that kill as it's picked up by Slasher after we were talking about his lane, having a bit of trouble. They give him some help. Flash onto Short Hop.
Yeah, while the Thresh is out of the lane, Short Hop almost getting caught out of position again.
That's always what your AD is doing when you're roaming. It's okay.
Not used to. He's like, wait, where's my lantern? Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Desperton.
Gets hit in. His own onslaught is used to get out. He says, don't take my ult. You're going to have to use it right now. Back to the Dragon. Another Cloud Drake, gotta go fast. Great for a Hacker team. And a Thresh team.
It's gonna be the fastest team comp you ever did see, Rib.
Yep, even Moby Boots on Thresh. You get that quick buyout after you get your first warding item, and you look to make plays around the map. You have 2 players that can do that now in Thresh and Hecarim, so expect to see the roam coming from these 2. Short Hop with that flash use bot's gonna have to be a little bit more careful. Almost gets taken out there as we saw just before Drake.
Yep. He does complete his IE, so he's feeling okay in a decent position. We have Blaze Nova constantly roaming around. Ooh, baited out into E. And it's interesting. You know, I think Gorka getting close to the Blade of the Rune King, picking it up just now, might be in a position where he can start bullying this Ornn a little bit harder. It's always a tough thing to be in as the Ornn versus a Vayne. You know, you don't want to build HP because the percent HP, so a lot of times people end up with weird components like this, but I still can't help but feel like completing one of the major items would have been a better use of the gold, whether that's your Frozen Fists or whatever else armor items you want to buy. I don't think you want to straight rush Thornmail, of course, but various other items. And while I ramble about the top lane, bot lane turret drops.
This is going to be a sweet hook by Blaze, even though I don't think he would have taken it. I want to see it. I like the attempt. They're trying for a bit here and there. Short hop dings level 10. We got level 11s in our solo lane, so they're getting their second level of ultimate here. Possible big fights coming up. Drake was just taken down. Another Cloud Drake, if you could believe it, to come up. Third one already, so we won't get any more Cloud Drakes just about 24 minutes into the game. Top side's going to be getting a little bit of love here. It seems like they're clearing out the vision to at least get Captain Nuke down. He's 1-0-1, no bounty, and he definitely feels like there's a bit of love coming for that top side. He's going to go scouting about to see what he can find.
With that turret drop, lanes start breaking open a little bit. Now it's Vayne.
Does it drop? This is what we were worried about for Gorica, not being able to get out of that ultimate, and then he just gets hit with the ram right in the head. Stays alive. Got to be worried about who you're giving that kill to. Youngbin is able to pick it up, though, as they get a nice kill. He's going to be teleporting back, actually. They don't go for the top side. No, he teleports to mid to protect it, as they could have been pushing top to take it down. So they're actually being pulled around a little bit by Western to feel comfortable in their defense.
Still not bad by UCI, able to grab a kill in the top lane to start things off. Vayne getting a little trigger happy with the E. Hold on here.
Looks like they could have this. They see Avi now being the one to take that top turret. And yes, a very big thank you is Ornn able to waltz out of this one and just lumber to safety. Top turret now with that pressure should go down, and Avi being away. UCI did a very nice job at mitigating that attack.
Yep, good gank onto that Vayne to kind of kick that sequence off in the mid lane. Not quite sure what they were looking for with that Yuumi ult. Party late on that one. But yeah, all things considered, they got out of there pretty well. Captain Nuke got a free blast cone hit by, I think it was the Sivir, short hop. And we get the pause.
Just looking over at Yuumi to see what it is. I was like, how quick is that cooldown? It's just a minute and a half on it, but 5 in Prowling Projectile, 3 in Zoomies, and then you just obviously leave you and me up to go back and forth since the cooldown happened. So it's kind of your one skill wonder. But interesting to see with that in lane, as we were seeing with the Prowling Projectile, it's almost like, well, Sivir somewhat counters with her ricochet and bouncing around her auto attack. You can throw that at her and then fake her out and pull it away so she actually doesn't get spell shields down, initiation. So you can definitely play mind games a lot with Yuumi and that projectile and being able to control it on your teammate.
Yeah, it's definitely the case where it can be a little annoying. It's almost worth just saving it for a bigger cooldown if there's something that the marksman might have. If you're up against the Varus, something like that, save it for the skill shots that can't change direction randomly.
Currently gets a 205 damage shield, restoring 96 mana when she gets that auto attack for pop and block. Great names from the team. Very poppy. We got Pop Blossom now, Pop and Block. I don't know what they're going to do next with these names.
I wonder if I can request a replay during this time. I don't know if it's possible.
You know what?
Get the kill in the top lane.
Oh, yes.
On the, I think the Vayne tried to condemn Jarvan mid-jump, maybe a little early on that, but it goes back into that poppy point that we were talking about way back with Hecarim. That's another unstoppable gap closer that can consume the poppy W charge.
Yep.
We'll see if it happens. I'm a dreamer.
We're just checking a visual bug currently, obviously looking at Youngbin's screen as we wait for this pause to go through. Youngbin currently on that Ezreal this game, playing quite well as Bloodwater continues to stay on him. We saw him on the Kai'Sa last game, and he has been able to put up some big numbers. Just finished Frozen, and he has his mana building up. Went cold this game because they had a little bit of, I'd say, lax laning phase. They were slightly going aggressive, but definitely knowing that this one could be going towards the late game, and they want to get as much gold as possible in that situation.
Yeah, not super typical for the Ezreal. A lot of time you want to get your tier up right away and keep hitting your 2-item power spike, which you can usually get to before anyone else. You get that fully charged up, you can start pressuring pretty well, but still took a little detour into that cull.
Julius finding a bit of success himself on that Hecarim. Avi was able to use it last game. And this time they aren't getting the pressure they would have hoped from this Gorica top lane. That Vayne was last pick. They're trying to figure out what they were able to put against now. Something that they weren't sure what was going top. It wasn't going to be the Rumble since they banned it. But now the Ornn comes out. And Captain Nuke in a lane we thought would just be him taking damage from this Vayne. Able to get the help early from Avi. really able to put a mark on this map for him and his team. Still low kill score, though, coming in. I think it's 5-2-3 currently.
Yeah, and I think overall, I think UCI, despite the surprise the pick might have been in Champs Select, did a good job shutting the Vayne down. There was the level 2 gank, which didn't net them anything, but still relieved some pressure in that lane. The repeat gank, not too long after that, like 5 minutes in the game, gets the first kill. And then, once again, they picked up another kill onto her. So they have largely negated what is sometimes the scariest part of the laning phase versus the Vayne. Those first couple of levels where she just harasses other melee champions relentlessly. And she'll still have 1v1 threat versus the Ornn kind of all game long. It's not like the Ornn ever outscales to the point where he's killing her unless she's making big mistakes. But you don't have to worry as much about the split push threat now. And you can kind of deal with that.
Yep. As we wait for this to be resolved, we do have a replay of that.
Ha-ha!
Yes, Mark. It's for you.
Thank
it's all
you.
For you. I was told it's for you. So we'll bring that up and see how it happened here towards the top side with that interaction.
Yeah, so he goes for the ult.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I believe that was the condemned during that. Pretty fast pace. The reason I was asking about that was because we discovered a cute interaction with the Poppy W. It stops dashes, but it only stops 1 dash per champion. And if a champion has an unstoppable dash, like a Malphite ult, a Hecarim ult, or one of those, that technically counts as attempting to stop that dash. And then your second dash, like the Hecarim E, is actually able to get through the Poppy W. So I believe Jarvan ult is technically unstoppable as well when you're mid-flight, so you could technically use that against Poppy W and then get your EQ afterwards. Just a little useless game knowledge, you know, for all these college kids to study up on.
Those are the ones I use the most.
The useless facts.
Yeah, there you go. I've always thought it would be cool. I think it happened at one point with Silver Spell Shield or something, where you could take 2 or 3 spell, like if they're all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I know that. I think there was a time when it did happen. But
Yeah, you could like step on multiple Caitlyn traps and eat multiple ones with a single spell shield, stuff like that.
That was easy with Morg.
Yeah.
You can still kind of do that. It just takes a few.
You can do that with Morg, but Sivir, even if they were spaced too close together, could trigger both of them with a single spell shield. It's like a timing thing.
A good one was if you played Shen or anybody with a dash, you just dash across them. You just pop them all as you go across, and you only get locked by 1.
They get rid of that?
Yeah, because they don't activate. If you have done one, you can't activate another one right away.
Right.
So it kind of, and then you had the time where LCK or just Korea Solo Queue was leveling W. So leveling W became a thing for like a week. That was weird. Just for trap like super.
Well, that was like
super
right when
trap
she got
control.
reworked.
Yeah.
W, because before, I mean, I don't know if people remember old Caitlyn W and her old passive. It was not very fun. It was very lame.
You didn't get any damage. You just trapped somebody.
Yeah, you just trapped them, and you didn't even have a charge system. You just put one trap
Net
down.
didn't do anything either. Just net them. You didn't get headshot off net.
No, you just...
Yeah. That's what I thought.
If you can imagine, Caitlyn used to be more boring.
Mind blown.
It's hard to believe.
I like it.
Only a couple more minutes from what I've been told by the producers about this pause. We'll see if our producers are liars. But I trust them for the most
If they are, I'm walking away with that trophy. Look how shiny it is. Do you have any trophies, Mark?
You know, I don't think... If you're talking about serious trophies, I have plenty of participation trophies.
Oh, of course.
I have plenty of those. If you're asking about real, like, #1 placing in a thing that really mattered, I don't think I do.
Dang.
Got a couple of third places in the LCS.
There you go.
Is that worth anything? I missed Worlds just barely multiple times.
Okay. What would you have gotten yourself if you made Worlds?
Longer coaching career.
Oh, my word. That's great. I love it. That's all right. I didn't even really get to do the professional part of this. I was just like, you know what? I'm not that good at Counter-Strike. I'm going to go to the media side of things and yell about it. Because I already yelled about it in-game.
Yeah. No one wanted to listen on your teams. But as soon as you were off a team, everyone wanted to listen.
Hey, we were pretty good. We beat some teams that no. It's hard. Like, being continuously organized with 5 people that you don't actually live with and have different schedules is a ridiculously tough task.
I have a hard enough time coordinating rating with friends who want to be there. It's
just difficult. So we even heard earlier during the ESPN interview, the life coach, strategic coach, the resources that these players have to actually use and keep themselves in a good mindset. You mean you're doing an entire course workload? A lot of these guys in engineering, chemical engineering, different economics, and they are a challenger, grandmaster, master, and also competing at near the highest level of League of Legends, which takes a lot of time and resources out of your schedule.
Yeah, I think it's insane what they are currently undertaking. And I think it's also interesting to see how much help some of these programs have behind them. You know, you're talking about the staff, the clubs, the on-site facilities, and that's more than a lot of LCS teams had back in the day when we were starting out. You were lucky to have one coach in a gaming house, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible to see how far the entire scene has grown with the academic collegiate scene having more resources than the LCS just 4 or 5 years ago.
That's right. So as the issues here get resolved, we are going to take a quick break. So please meet us here after that for the conclusion of Game 3. Hello and welcome back to Game 4. I know I trolled you and said Game 3 before the break, but it's Game 4, so welcome back. We're happy to have you here. We have resolved the issues on stage, and Western is ready to take Irvine back on in the Rift. The countdown for pause is going down. We're about to see these players get back into action here. A little bit of a reset for them to control themselves, get themselves back into a play mindset. And we are back onto the Rift. 20 minutes in, which means Baron has just joined us as well. So welcome, Baron. And we'll see if he gets any action soon.
Good to see you, Baron.
Yeah.
This has been a very back and forth game if you're just joining us. UCI did a good job punishing the Vayne early on, kind of stopped her from snowballing that top side. Bot lane has been trading kills left and right. The jungler's been scrapping mid. It's been all over the place, and now UCI holds a small advantage heading into this game.
They have considered the ace across the team. I like it. 1 kill for everybody. So they're definitely sharing in the wealth currently. Very, very aggressive Youngbin. He does not have Bloodwater with him right now. Again, on that Yuumi play, they felt very strong in the Kai'Sa Yuumi last game. So we have the Ezreal Yuumi coming in now. He has teleported to mid recently, so expect to stay here for a bit and get the farming going as they want to take down that mid turret.
Yeah, and the Yuumi pick doing pretty well. Played it last game, absolutely slammed with it. A lot of people watching still believe that Yuumi is not a real champ. But contrary to popular belief, she is one of the strongest supports in the meta right now.
I mean, if it helps you get through it, just say it's all the book. You don't have to be mad at a cat. There you go. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
That's the secret to why no one's ever going to be mad.
Yeah.
It's a cat. Doesn't matter how dominant it is in the meta.
Unless you're free. Freak hates cats. Hence the name. Good push by Youngbin. Doesn't look like they have enough pressure to just get that turret. They have the vision pushed forward to make sure they won't get kind of flanked from the sides, just not the power in front of the turret. Just to the left, Captain Nuke taking down the Raptors, looking for a possible rear initiation here with the Oran Horn, but it does not look like they will activate. It's taken him a while. He decides to give up as a short hop makes his way over. So just milling about for now until somebody, I think, gets caught out at this point. It seems like nobody really has a quick strategy except for the Cloud Drake, and that is not tempting anyone at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, University of Western Ontario has kind of lost some of their vision control. They don't have a single ward even in the river. Everything is behind that line. So they're having a really difficult time seeing where they're kind of face checking right now. And it's kind of difficult to get back versus Yuumi and Ezreal constantly throwing out poke spam at you.
Quick solo from Deskerton on the Drake. Be nice for him. Hit that W, hit that auto. Ezreal great at taking down turrets with that new upgrade on what used to be Essence Flux. This W does the big booms now, as long as he can hit it. Picked up the Cloud 3 on the map. So we get next. It's going to be a mountain. Has to be mountain or infernal or ocean. We have the next elements coming into the game now.
See, also during that time, grabbing the last outer turret of Western. Now UCI kind of has a run of the map to continue dominating with his vision control. They've said they're the best fourth quarter team in college.
Number 4.
We're heading for the fourth quarter right now.
It's like we have a fourth in each game, but this is also actually the fourth game. And then the fourth game can also have a fourth quarter. So there's many. There's many in how we have given this nomenclature this match. 3-1 in turrets, as you said. 9 turrets more to go, I should say. Yeah, no. Is it 9? 8. 8 turrets, 11 on the map. Wow, numbers.
Scaring me.
See, this is why you don't do math on stream. Even simple math.
You did some good math earlier.
I know, and then I used all of it. It's gone. You only get one chance. Back in quick, we'll see what Bloodwater gets. Always has that Athenes you see on Yuumi, getting the nice heals out, as well as a little bit of damage and being able to support with the boots, or Lucidity Boots to keep those spells flinging.
You see Orin also at that 13 mark has started grabbing those masterwork items, so upgrades his Iceborne Gauntlets to start, and we'll see where he starts throwing the upgrades from there. If we want to talk about scaling, that's another thing to tip in UCI's favor a little bit here. It is difficult to see who is exactly the better team. I mean, UCI should have the better 5v5, given that Orin wants to be there, but if Vayne can kind of come in and clean up some fights, maybe after a big Orianna ult with the Hecarim, they definitely have some champions that feel like they scale for the team fight a little bit better on their side, even if the comp as a whole does not.
Blade of the Rune King into Zeo makes Vayne pretty nasty with that attack speed already. Another dagger as well on top of that with Zerk, so you should be able to put out at least the 2 shots of Silver Bolts, or at least 2 full procs. Really change the mind of somebody in the fight, especially if you get to the back line, and that's the difficulty. You've got Captain Nuke and Avi that's going to be in his face, so
yeah, the other problem is they've sent the Silas to actually kind of match the Vayne in the side lane, so it's no more just beating up on a Ornn who can't do much to a Vayne and just kind of sitting underneath the turret. Here, Silas and Deskerton able to kind of push the Vayne in and put her on the back foot, which is never what you want to see. She did just complete the Phantom Dancer, but I still think it's a pretty tough fight. I mean, Silas can't use Vayne ult really at all.
That's what I was gonna say. What do you do?
You do nothing.
You get AD?
You steal someone else's ult, then go to the lane.
That, yeah. Unfun.
You do get, I believe, some AP as a steroid because of the conversion from AD to AP. So I think that's all you get. Not that great.
And you get bats around you. Don't forget about the bats.
Do you get the bats?
If you don't, you're getting real gypped. There's no value there. That'd be a creature of the night. Whee! Prowling projectile.
So far, good job by Blaze Nova getting some vision control back. Bloodwater doing his best to clear out that vision. The constant vision struggle. Here we go.
Ooh. So here we have Onslaught Shadows, but I have, oh wait, fight going in.
Wow.
Oh my God. So you were saying if he gets one of those reels off of Silver Bolts, it's going to be painful. Phantom Dancer as well there for a little bit of protection from Gorka as he gets himself the help. Avi goes to the stopwatch, nicely done. A good Orin Horn pops up too on the other end, but they have the teleport coming in. Julius wants into the fight now. No Onslaught of Shadows to come in. Wait, he just hasn't used it yet as he used it on the escape. Good heal coming through for Short Hop. And they're going to try to get themselves to safety now. They have to reconsider the fight. Shockwave goes through, but it's not a fight they want to get the priority target of Youngbin on. He can continue to slow them. Captain Nuke tries to get the wall bang in, and it cannot happen. Damage down to Blaze Nova. And Captain Nuke now stopwatched. These guys have all the utility to keep themselves alive, reset these fights, figure out which the next target is. And I was actually just told by production that if you do steal the ultimate as Silas, you can go invisible by using Q.
Ah, it's interesting. So it's coded to Q. It is not coded to specifically tumble.
Absolutely.
Huh.
That'd be fun to see Silas tumble though and do nothing. A good kill there on to Julius. It was the long time coming and the long game played for that fight. They find him finally as we are just cresting up towards 28 minutes. And that Drake is about to be up, so Mountain is going to be huge here for taking on the rest of these objectives, or a punch back for Western.
I mean, that was a very dangerous situation for UCI there. They first lost Descraton in the side lane, and then with how fast they are with the double Cloud Drakes, as well as just the very nature of Hecarim, he was able to collapse up to that Baron, and there is no way UCI has enough damage to do it. Without Descraton there, Captain Nuke doesn't really do any. Youngbin's the only damage threat. He's not bad with the Masterwork to play the Rune King, but he's still not going to melt it that quickly. So the turnoff wasn't super clean. It could have looked very bad for UCI there, but they got out and even found a kill on the tail end of that whole sequence.
What's better than a late game team in fourth quarter having more items than the other team can have? Oh, you didn't order to that team, and UCI can do it. Now they're getting their upgraded items from him after level 14. He already has 2 of those. But he has done Blade of the Rune King for Youngbin, so a little extra for him. And it's going to feel nice as he can just start throwing cash in the pockets of his teammates here every level on.
Definitely feels good to be playing with the Ornn at this point in the game. But we'll have to see if Western can keep kind of making these plays happen. No Vayne TP right now, so they have to be a little careful about putting her in the side lane so openly like that. As Descraton has his up, they could potentially collapse if they start baiting around Baron.
Where is she? Currently on Avi, if we follow him. 73. Just trying to see how much AD she's currently giving. It was 269 previously, so not too much. Just more assistance in the heals and the speed that you can get out of zoomies. And Cloud Drake already helping them to get mobile around the map here. Yeah, it's 269 and 273 as she jumps on and off him, so not too huge. But you can see it's a little bit of a factor. Youngbin to clear out mid lane, 272 to 282 is both of the regular bot laners keeping themselves pretty average in items and in damage. You could say a little bit more is coming from Youngbin right now, just within that build of Ezreal at this point in the game. He is putting out some power. There's the ultimate, tries to go invis, comes back out, and that's not going to help too much. Looking gold is nice, though. That auto attack on the minion. Wait, oh, he autoed the minion, but he still gets the kill. He wasn't going to let that one get away. You can see Gorka happy about that, but probably not happy he had to use the flash to get it. Did blow Descratons to make it happen. 40 seconds on these death timers now means you can get quite a bit done on the map, but there's still quite a bit of positioning by UCI, and they'll pause Western from making anything happen.
I mean, Gorka is killing him pretty easily. Here we go, engage in the mid lane.
Good save by the Lantern. Blaze Nova keeping himself at a great distance here. You always got to be a little farther away with your Thresh than right on top of your teammates so they can get away. It's going to be Baron now. Remember that teleport, as you said, Mark, was down for Gorica. He will not be in the play. This is a huge position for a Shockwave, though. Slasher just over the wall. If he can throw it in, it's not going to be hitting there. And he does still have Shockwave up.
Oh.
He'll be down before he even gets to use it. Julius into the fight. He goes down immediately as well. Blaze Nova and Short Hop forced to run. UC Irvine, 30 minutes in, grab Baron.
What a sick turnoff by Avi. He gets the flash follow from the EQ knockup onto Slasher and secures his team that Baron with that play. Super well done. In response to Gorica having this kind of split push advantage, it felt like they realized that they thought they were holding the Bane even. I thought that we're mostly doing it fine with Despoton holding the Bane even, but that time, Gorica tore him apart and they realized, okay, we can't keep hovering around, we need to go, and so they went.
I think that is a very, very smart idea. Otherwise, Gorica is just going to have a lane all to himself, and it's these quick fights right in the middle of the game for the past 2 series that have almost swept it. Last game, a bit more in favor of UCI. The one before, definitely even, and then just swiped in the way of UCI. Here again with Baron, they're going to be able to run down each lane, and we'll see how it happened. With Slasher here,
watch Avi with his flash follow. Absolutely disgusting to get that. Guarantees the kill. Yuumi might have been able to find it anyways, but then the rest of the team is kind of split away. A nice wall knockup from Captain Nuke. Super, super clean.
Unfortunately, Western being pressured into trying to hero plays instead of being able to use the team to do it. There, they are able to get the team together, but how much have they used to get that kill is now going to be the Hecarim on the caboose. Julius gets out with Onslaught of the Shadows over the wall.
Descarton was a little short on his own ultimate, but
It
they might
should be
still
all
find
right.
the tag.
Oh! I was gonna say, if the Prowler really set up the kill, that would be something else. Youngvin teleports back into the fight. We saw them just towards the top side there. And a TP as well to bring Bloodwater in. The mobility that Yuumi has with the champions on her team is just immense, and we're seeing it now continuously across the map. The presence of whatever champion she's on is being felt. Blue buff now going over to Youngbin. He's gonna be able to sling more spells out and just wreak havoc on this Western composition. Just a few kills across the board for them as solo laners start to stack them up, and Youngbin with 3 for himself on the side of UCI.
Yeah, they did lose the mid inhibitor, which is unfortunate for Western, but with that pickoff onto Avi, they've done a good job of stalling out the rest of this Baron buff. It's going to be hard to get another inhibitor down. Maybe they can keep stalling it out from there.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Upgraded Ludens on Descarton now. Should be able to get that upgraded redemption for Bloodwater as well once he gets another level onto that Ornn. More gold, more resources, more things that UCI can use that they really don't have to fight for here. Really synergizing with the composition. Bot lane getting pushed in. Silas, Descarton gonna bring up the mid lane here as Western could start to get spread thin. Do they initiate on the hands of Julius? Or we see Blaze hitting a hook past these minions. The Baron minions make it hard. They don't have too much wave clear, which is Slash on the front line. A stolen ultimate there is the box. UCI has the chance to disengage now if they get engaged on.
They're going to be able to break the turret here in just a second. The last minion wave that they'll need to chip it down is going to grab the inhibitor. And Western feels like they're holding out for maybe one more defense, perhaps around the top lane.
University of California Irvine looking to put the finishing touches here on Game 4. They want to defend their championship, and they're doing so against Western very well right now. Western able to put up a game and able to put up a good one, but UCI has turned it on here for the last few, and they are showing the power they bring to the collegiate scene. Gorica, not in a great spot, takes a bit of damage here. Looks like a few people need to heal, which gives more time outside. Final chapter comes out. Youngbin going very low. Great hit up. They are the same with the heals. The Zoomies keeps him alive. Julius goes into the stopwatch now, and they're able to fire back. Great job by Gorica, focusing the back line, trying to do what Vayne does best, but he can't get the kill in. The Zoomies save him again, and Bloodwater's coming up huge, but there's just too much engage. There's just too much pressure. Shrimp stays alive, and he is able to get the boomerang shots to the back line. Western keep their base alive.
UCI believes that they can end the game right there, but a monstrous hook by Blaze Nova finds Youngbin, and despite Bloodwater, they're doing his damnedest to keep him alive. They eventually find him at the very end of this fight. A great hook here. One of a couple great hooks that he's found over the course of this game. They get it right on to Youngbin. This is pretty early on. There's one or two more hooks he's going to have to land.
That's right. He hits a hook, you're going to get that hook back in 3 seconds as Thresh at this point.
Yeah, there's the shift down. And there's the hook. Bloodwater instantly recognized that his ally got hooked and starts pressing ult to try and root people from getting in, but still couldn't quite do enough. Blows multiple heals. Orica starts going for the chase down. You can see how persistent Yuumi is, popping off and on to try and get more shields and heals, but eventually the Hecarim finds the cleanup kill. Now short hops. Can't quite get that pat, but they do get 4 for 3, which is a very good fight given the position that they were in.
Western controlling a bit of power of the game now, and that could cause timidness for UCI. I would be very impressed to see them go in for a hard engage like that again. They do have quite a bit of summoners up, just a few in the realm of teleports were used there, but they know Western can put up a big fight now, and that was just off a hook. They didn't have to do anything crazy. They didn't have to hit a big shockwave. That was a full 5v5, and Western looked great in it.
I think Youngbin will be playing a little safer after that one.
Yeah.
Seeing that they are not invulnerable with their lead. It's actually, gold-wise, not that large of a lead, only about 3,000. And with Sivir starting to get to max build, still has one more item she can grab. Masterwork items are completed on everyone on UCI. Ezreal still has a little bit more to go, so everyone can power up just a little bit more on both teams, but Ori and Sivir late are absolutely no joke, with a Hecarim as well.
Man, that hook. Still thinking of that hook by Blaze Nova right there. Great prediction. He is feeling it on the Thresh. A great steal, onslaught of shadows. Western doesn't look like they're in a good spot to start this one off. Blaze Nova's low. Julia's trying to heal up now in the middle of the fight with the onslaught of shadows on, but can he do it? Spirit of the Dread coming back up for a little bit of AoE, a little bit of heal, a little bit of hit. Avi's going to make it out alive. Looks like he'll have flag and drag here, but they've lost 2 members in Descraton and Youngbin, and this is a fight Western can now turn it around. They could be bringing it to game 5 here, and they're trying to end it. Few more hits. This is the chase from Gorik onto the turret. He gets knocked up, but no, he does not. Just a CC, or a hit, sorry, from Brittle. Does not CC him. It just does quite a bit of damage. And now they're going to be able to get the turret. Avi is now facing down 5 members of Western. They thought they were going to be ending the game in UCI just a few minutes ago. Western's now on the Nexus turret. Game 5 is in their eyes. They're looking to stop the defending champions from going to the finals, and they may have a chance. A few more attacks on the Nexus turret. Short Hop has his eyes on the prize, and Western Ontario brings us to a game 5 against Irvine.
Down 2 inhibitors with UCI on their doorstep to knock them out of the tournament. Western claw their way back in that game. 2 fights back-to-back going in their favor to force a 5th and final game. This is that championship mindset that we were saying at the start of the game they needed to show. Incredible.
And you can see what that means to Youngbin on your screen right there. Pats on the back from Descraton, knowing a pretty big error was made there. And at that point in the game, that error isn't because, I don't know what I'm doing. It's overconfidence. They weren't respecting their opponent, and that's still an error.
Yeah, I thought after they grabbed that inhibitor, Baron's ending, they're going to reset, recall, go top lane, let the double inhib go. They could have played that game out a lot slower. Instead, they're saying, let's end it right now. And that's not really what their comp is designed to do that well. And, one positioning mistake by Youngbin, he gets caught out. And, a minute later, the game's over.
And props to Western as well for taking a beating that entire game and still knowing how to assess that last fight under the most amount of pressure, the game-ending play, and they still know we have to actually get to the backside no matter how much Bloodwater is healing out on Youngbin. We need to do it, and they really were able to capitalize on what the priority targets.
Yeah, and it was an impressive turnaround for this team, not just in the game in terms of mentality, but from the gold deficit they were at, from the Vayne getting shut down early on, they came back multiple ways.
All the way to 5, just as you would have wanted it. The State Farm Analyst Desk is now ready to break down the game that tied the series.
Thank you so much, Riv. We are back at the Analyst Desk because it is game 5, truly on. And first things first, Crumbs, are you feeling some Canada pride?
Yes, but I have spent maybe more time living in the United States than in Canada, so I'm a little mixed right now, considering that UCI is so local, and some of the players I've played it with and played against. We've got Bloodwater, you got Youngbin, so unfortunately, the Ezreal got caught way too many times by the Thresh, a pick that we did not think was going to be able to work into this matchup, but he found the angles to make it work.
But before we even got to that point, UCI, they had their moments. We were thinking, this has to be theirs. They've secured their spot in the final. And if you look at that fight that we had near Baron, where it was the 2-0, that ended up going in their favor.
Yeah, I thought UCI was winning this game for sure. And this was such a nice play here by Avi. The way he EQs into the flasher to pick up that kill. At the same time, Youngmin picks up the kill on Julius. After this Baron, I think we were ready to wrap it up and go home.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know, this is UCI's game. They have it in the bag. And maybe they were just taking it a little bit too slow with their close, because in compositions like this, you have to understand you're on a timer. So like Sivir, Vayne, Orianna, Hecarim, that's a very potent late game teamfight comp. And we'll see later in the game that short hop Sivir is nothing to play with. And it got to that point where fights became just too hard to win.
So close to closing it there when they were on that Nexus turret, but in the end, it was Western that was able to defend and turn it around for themselves.
So the big thing here is you're gonna have to keep your eyes out on Youngbane's Ezreal and the Thresh hook. So Ezreal goes for an aggressive shift forward, and in the channel of the ultimate, a perfectly timed Thresh hook capitalizes. And yes, Sivir and Vayne is just gonna maul you down. And it was close enough that Ezreal almost had it. Yuumi keeping him alive. He gets the Vayne, shifts out, but this Q right here, that was a game-breaking Q, because you take down the Hecarim, you have lifesteal off of your Blade of the Ruined King, off of Yumi's heals, off your Bloodthirster, you're back in the mix. You're gonna be able to kite and push forward. And the fact that he went down there meant that Sivir and Vayne got to take another fight, and if you give those champions more chances, it's just going to be more likely that they win. And this is what went down. They immediately catch onto the Hecarim, and the engage, look at what Sivir does. She flanks in, flashes inside because the engage has already been established, and she doesn't care. You take out Yuumi right away. Such a rare sight to see. You never see Yuumi get taken out, and you almost know for a fact that if she is eliminated first, that's probably a lost fight.
Yeah, such an impressive team fight there from Short Hop. I think he's a player who's known for his Sivir. It's one of his signature champions. Clearly very comfortable on that pick. The fact that you can have the audacity to flash forward as an AD carry in the late game around a neutral objective and win that fight for your team, like, these kind of moments define series and they define players, and Short Hop stepped up.
Well, and one thing as well, if you're looking at the way things finished out, it really is, just like you said, comes down to those final moments when the game is pushed for that long.
Yeah.
And a champion like Sivir goes a long ways there. You have a ton of wave clear that makes it very difficult for you to go and try to take down objectives. Do you go for a tower dive without any minions? It's very difficult when you also have an Orianna to consider in these situations. So it felt like UCI was a little bit desperate and not entirely sure how to close out the game. So when they saw that opportunity into the bottom lane, they went for it. Missed execution, but I still think it was fine. You got 2 inhibitors, you could have still ended it there, but they needed to have the composure to say, 2 inhibs, just go for the third, nothing else matters, just sit here and poke, and the rest will be taken care of by the minions.
Yeah, and now we have to consider it's game 5, right? And where are the expectations lying? And for me, all the pressure's on UCI right now. Western is the team that came in, nobody expected them to win this series. People didn't even expect them to make it to game 5. And now UCI is here with all this pressure on them. Game 5 situation, can they perform under pressure?
Yeah, I mean, it's as much one of these teams has an ESPN documentary on them.
Exactly.
Another one does not.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure you want to see a victory in that doc.
And as far as what happened in this last game, it going a bit longer, more traditional with what we expect to see in the collegiate circuit. So with these two teams, it's game number 5. It comes down to one game in the end. So starting off with Crumbs, what's it going to take for one of these teams to close it?
I think you need to go with a very strong approach in your laning phase, but also having some late game insurance. So champions like Sivir are going to be really good here. I think that you can early rotation it, might as well. Maybe even a Tristana. We saw it in other series work really well. Just something that is going to guarantee you win a fight late game, you can end the game right there in one push. I need to see those kinds of AD carries be picked.
And Coach Doyle?
Absolutely. So first, scaling. Like Crum said, these games are going late, and game 5, it will certainly go late as well. Also, I think that we need compositions that are easy to execute, because these guys are under so much pressure, and if you're having to deal with these mechanically intensive champions and playing fights perfectly, like we saw so many fights decided on the margin.
No more Silas.
No more Silas. Yeah, get it out of here, okay?
No one's doing it as well as it needs to be done. It's not getting the value. It's just dying in the side lanes. Enough. Don't first pick pick it, go with picks that you have way more practice on, because I guarantee you they don't have that much practice on Silas. It's a new champion, all right?
Exactly.
You haven't put that many games in.
Scaling, comfort, and ease of execution.
You heard it here first, folks. Put the Silas on the back burner, but the semifinal decider is coming up next. See if Western or UCI book their trip to the final.
Orioles, kill Azrael!
Yep.
Yeah,
Silas.
German, I got German!
Hey, full hit.
Pull it.
Full hit.
Nice. Let's go, get 5!